It's never a money decision. Welcome to Living Forward TV, where we have real, honest, and fun conversations all about business success, lifestyle design, and the mindsets, decisions, and actions that make it all happen for you. If there's one thing that I think just about every entrepreneur has in common, it's that when it comes to making what they think are money decisions in their business, they get very uncomfortable. And sometimes they get freaked right out, and some entrepreneurs avoid them altogether. But you know what the thing is? There really is no such thing as a money decision. What those entrepreneurs are facing in that moment is a business decision that involves money. It's no different than anything we do in our lives. We don't think that the morning journal routine or that cup of coffee we're grabbing or the lights we're turning on are a money decision. No, those are decisions about rituals that we have every day to add quality to our life. And there is a money component to make it happen, whether it's the pen and paper you need to journal, the coffee you're drinking, or the electricity to turn on the lights. There's money involved, but we don't think of it that way. We think of the enjoyment we're going to get from doing those things. And it's no different in your business. When you're facing a decision to grow your business, it's all about creating that growth that you want. But when there's a direct correlation between a course of action and money going out the door, that's when entrepreneurs can sometimes freeze up and mistakenly look at this as a money decision and freak out and sometimes avoid the decision or make a smaller decision or make a safer decision. And it's not that they deliberately want to avoid the decision. It's just that next step is usually to take them from where they are to where they want to go. So they may not have the money yet. They may have to borrow it, or maybe it's going to take all the money they have. And because it's a decision about growth, there is a certain amount of risk that goes with it because there is no sure thing. And so that's what makes them really afraid. And I get that. And let's be real, money should be a factor in your decision because once an entrepreneur decides that this is the right course of action for their business, they do need to know how they're going to fund it and pay for it. But the problem I see that happens a lot is that entrepreneurs get that backwards. Instead of looking at a course of action and making a decision one way or the other, is this the right or the wrong thing to do for my business? And if it's the right thing, then find the money. What they tend to do is look at the money first and then think how much they want to spend and then try to fit a course of action into that limited pool of money. Now the problem is when you do that and you only look at what's going out the door, instead of focusing on the growth that you're trying to create through that course of action, that focus will keep you playing small and will keep your business and your income staying small. And that's not what we want. Now, I get it. It's not always easy to make those decisions because there is a certain amount of risk and because sometimes there can be a lot of money involved that we have to put on the table, our own money. Now, I have an exercise that I do in my business every time I'm facing a big decision like this. And I've prepared it for you. There's a link below this video that you can download it and go through it yourself. And right now what I want to do is go through the key considerations in that exercise to give you some food for thought and to help you step into a place where you can confidently make that decision. The first thing you want to do when you're faced with a decision like that, and I've got them written down here because there's quite a few of them. The first thing you want to do in a decision like that is put away the fear and doubt. Get out of emotion and get into your head and use some logic. And then ask yourself some very strategic questions. The first question you want to ask yourself is, what's the problem I'm trying to solve here? And that comes down to a business issue. And then the very next question is, well, what's the result or desired outcome I'm trying to achieve? The third question, what's my decision criteria? And fourth, what are the choices that will help me make this happen? And 5, what's the real decision about here? Those are very strategic questions. They're the kind of questions a CEO would ask themselves if they were building a company for their shareholders, and they're the type of questions I encourage you to ask about your own business as well. And I do know that there is a certain amount of fear that can happen. And this is where you need to step into that place of trust in yourself and faith in yourself. And there's a couple more questions that you can ask yourself. The first one is, what's the minimum I would need to make this investment and course of action worthwhile? And then you also want to ask yourself why this is important to you. And most importantly, what are you certain about? You know, a couple of episodes in Living Forward TV, we talked about tapping into that little place of certainty to really help you ground yourself when you're facing a decision that scares you. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to encourage you to flip through previous episodes and have a watch. And then ask yourself, when you're facing a decision involving an investment, to ask yourself what it is you are certain about. And then finally, you want to ask yourself, is this course of action a step in the right direction? These types of questions will really help you come out of that place of fear and panic and really step into the mindset of a CEO. And my goal with today's episode and this downloadable exercise, and I really encourage you to grab it because there are more questions there that will really help you, is to give you the tools so that when you face these situations that every entrepreneur goes through, I go through it myself, when you're facing them, that you have the tools you need to help you make those decisions from a place of confidence, strength, grace, and that you can feel really empowered and keep taking inspired action that keeps you aligned with your goals and your purpose. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and please share this with somebody who you know needs it. And I'd really love to get to know you. Hop on over to livingforwardcommunity.com, click the Join Now button, and join the community. I can't wait to see you on the other side, and I'll catch you on the next episode.